Nostalgia, as we often say here on the show, is a strange thing, isn't it? We look back with delight and sort of happiness, saying, these were the good old days, those were the things when times were easier. But of course, a lot of people look back with rose-tinted glasses, don't they? Different times, all sorts of different lives that we all led. I mean, can we all now imagine our lives without, say, a mobile phone, the internet? Now, for me, I'm not personally bothered, but the online shopping thing, how many people now do that? But when you look at television programs and radio things, you kind of look back and go, oh yeah, that was great. And are you like me sometimes, when you watch them again, you think, it's a bit slow. Wasn't that good? Yes. Now, one particular show that's now become into the public domain is a show that wasn't a success when it was first released way back in 1959 across America. That's right, it starred, get this, none other than the infamous Playboy owner, Hugh Hefner. Now, I have to say I met Hugh very briefly when he came over to London many years ago now, but I was also very lucky enough to meet one of the guest stars on this ill-fated show, the jazz pianist and friend of the Rat Pack, Buddy Greco. Now, Buddy, of course, was an amazing man. As I told you before, he's one of the very final people to spend the final weekend with the celebrated actress and sex symbol Marilyn Monroe. He'd led a charmed life in many respects. He'd met everybody, from the Kennedys right through to Queen Elizabeth II. He'd really lived a life, and ended up actually living over here in the United Kingdom in Westcliff-on-Sea, which is a beautiful coastal area. But one would question why. I'll leave you to ponder that. But back as ever to this lovely nostalgic memory. This show was called Hugh Hefner's Pad, and it was filmed at a very small station in Chicago, and as I say, aired for 12 episodes only. And the idea was to syndicate it across America. But they were different times, and it's hard to imagine now because it was quite innocent when you think how it would be. The doorbell would go and in would come in a celebrity. And these could be people like Nat King Cole, Sammy Davis Jr., Clark Gable was in one, so many people, and they would come in, have a drink, sit on the lounge, chat a little bit, and perhaps even entertain in the case of, say, like Nat or Sammy. The idea was a good one, but apparently the people who were trying to sell the show couldn't get it sponsored because of Hugh Hefner's brand. Now, when you think about it in today's terms, very, very lame, isn't it? But Hugh Hefner and the Playboy empire way back in the late 50s was seen as scandalous, alongside other things like Confidential magazine, Who remembers that? Yes, now the thing about this was, the show, as I say, many episodes have now been found, and it's historical when you look at it because they're all happy to be there, they're not embarrassed about the association. But of course, the bigger picture, the people that they were trying to sell the ad spaces to simply said no. And so it was screened once and then left in the can. Seemingly now someone's managed to find some of the, as they say, lost episodes, perhaps in the Playboy mansion, who knows. But whichever way you look at it, it's a lovely, warm, nostalgic memory, proving that nothing is new, because when you think about this particular show, Hugh Hefner was really the precursor, as so many people were, of reality TV. I found something online which I thought was funny and I wanted to share with you. There was an episode, and I think it was a series, called Celebrity Bowling. And basically they took celebrities, that's right, to a bowling alley, and they tried to turn it into a TV show. One of the lamest ideas you could actually ever see. The only great thing about the show was its guest stars like Sabrina, Mamie Van Doren, and Britain's own Diana Dawes, adding all the glamour that was needed to something that was truly lackluster. But as ever, if you get an opportunity and you see some of the clips on YouTube, you might just enjoy some of the chat, the performances, and the wonderful warmth that Hugh Hefner did offer in his ill-fated TV series, Hugh Hefner's Pad. As ever, I hope you don't mind me sharing that memory with you, but it was a nice, warm, nostalgic look, isn't it? Now, I often say this, don't I? Will I see you tomorrow? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.